My name is Phil Patelis. My business is Aibl, and so I provide technology advisory and consulting services to mid-market organisations in Australia, both commercial and not-for-profit. Late 2019, I had sold my previous business, which I had for 15 years. And so this business I started as an independent advisor because I saw a need in the market where technology was growing at such a rate of knots. There was a lot of organisations getting a lot of bad advice. And so it was the old situation where organisations needed a solution, but they'd go to a company to get the solution, and because the company only had a certain solution in a toolbox, it's the old adage of if you've got a hammer, everything's a nail. And so I saw a lot of organisations getting sold dud solutions. And so what I came to the table with was independent advisory consulting. So I'm now no longer encumbered to an organisation or a product or a solution. And so the benefit for organisations is by engaging me, they're getting that independent advice, and it's someone who sits across the whole technology landscape. So one thing I really enjoy is problem solving. And so, when I take a step back and I look at a lot of organisations, there's really an internal aspect and there's the external aspect. And you think about internally, every organisation is made up of systems and they're governed by their policies, processes, procedures. And then you have the employees, and the employees experience those in a way, sometimes good, sometimes bad. That's generally the internal operation of every organisation, no matter who you are. And then externally, every organisation sells either a product or a service, or a combination of both. And if you think about the customer, they experience that in that organisation. So if you put all those components together, that develops what you call a supply chain. And you think about every organisation, there's a supply chain there of components, and there's generally problems or opportunities along there where things get stressed. And so what I enjoy doing is helping organisations unpack those problems or opportunities and repack them into digital solutions. And so we form a digital supply chain across the organisation and help them to be competitive and relevant into the future. The advice I'd give people is always be curious. And I think, I say to people, you need to be able to follow the bouncing ball, because if you think about every organisation, there's problems no matter what you do, no matter what role you have. And the unique ability that you can bring to the table is to be able to unpack a problem, think about it holistically and repack it into a solution. And I think if you can do that, you're going to make a lot of people very happy. The trends and the things that I've seen change greatly is obviously what the world's just witnessed, which is COVID-19. And so I think the biggest trend I saw during 2020 was people having that aha moment that there's a difference between being able to work remotely and being able to function a whole organisation remotely. And it sounds the same thing, but there's a nuance there. So I think if you think about being able to go home and turn your laptop on and check email, that's one thing. But having the whole organisation operate from home and have the whole entire operation function, that's a whole different story. So I think organisations have very much realised the importance of understanding digital. So the change I'm seeing is that we see a lot of boards today that are heavily stacked with compliance, risk, audit, legal, and there hasn't really been a technology voice on the board. So I'm seeing a lot of inquiries from organisations that want that technology voice on the board to help advise and think about that digital supply chain. So that's one big change. And I think obviously customer experience is another area. So organisations are really starting to think about how does a customer experience our organisation? And so again, it comes back to that digital supply chain. So having all those components working together in unison is so important to organisations. I think we're going to see a lot of growth in that area in the next year or two. If I could choose a few words to put on a billboard about Aibl, obviously the slogan is ready, willing and able, but putting that to the side, it's really about that trusted advisor, independent, not encumbered to a certain technology, and just providing that voice of reason in the digital world that's balanced and viewed. That would be what I'd put on a billboard.